Good morning. Welcome to our Wednesday live show, Iconic. My name is Afton Porter. I am your life coach and fashion stylist. We meet here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where we come together. We talk about style, we talk about life, we talk about business. I've got my water this morning. I need some water today. How about you? Have you drank your water yet today? All right. So today we're talking about knowing who you are. A style icon, when she walks into a room, she's so radiant and so charming because she knows who she is. A style icon knows who she is and isn't afraid to be her. She has total freedom to be who she is. I like to liken this to a flower. I was talking to my clients earlier in the month and talked about how you are beautiful and gorgeous just because you exist. You, everything about you, all the good things, all the flaws that you feel are flaws, I should say, everything about you is beautiful. And you're beautiful because you exist. Whether you see a flower out in the wild, whether it's in a garden or in a flower pot in your kitchen. And that's how I want you to view you, knowing that you are beautiful just the way you are, all the things about you, even if you don't love them exactly. Having that self-acceptance is huge. Um, so a style icon knows who she is, and when she walks into a room, people can tell that she knows that. And that's why people are drawn to her. She's confident, not because she's perfect, not because she's got the latest fashion trends on. She is comfortable in her own skin. You are not the title that you have, the education you have received. You are not only, I should say, your value and your worthiness do not come from the titles that you have, from what people call you, what people have said to you, what has been done to you, what you've been a victim of. Those things are part of your experience here, but they don't add or take away from the beauty that you possess inside you of knowing who you are and knowing that. And so often as women, it's funny that men do not experience this the same as women do. Women put their whole heart in whatever they do. Not that I'm not trying to diss on men here, okay? I know men do too. But women, when they are a mother, their whole life often is revolved around their kids. Instead of having their kids in their life is their kids. And when their kids grow up and they don't need them as much or they move out of the house, then it's kind of like a lot of times us women are kind of like, what is it that I really want to do? So many times we don't even know what we like, who we are. We're just kind of like, without those people needing us and dictating where our time goes, a lot of women are just kind of like, I don't even know anymore. So it happens with kids, but it also can happen when you retire. It could happen if you're going through a divorce. Any type of transition that happens that used to take a bunch of your time, it could be being the caretaker of your elderly parents. When you've devoted so much time into those roles and you're not needing to do that anymore, we get to that position. I'll just tell you my experience. My experience was as a mother, I homeschooled. I cooked everything from home. I have a little farm, chickens, and like to raise my own food, cook from scratch, take care of my family. And it literally consumed my life. Like everything that I did was for my family. And then when it got to the point where I was actually getting sleep at night, I don't know if you can relate to not getting very much sleep. When I was actually getting enough sleep at night, and my children were getting older, that's when it kind of hit me. I was like 40, I'm 47 now, so 7 years ago, it kind of hit me and I was like, everything that I do, my life is revolving around my family. And instead of inviting them into my life and having them participate with me together, it just became too much. And I realized I'm not taking care of myself. What do I want to like? What kind of music do I even want to listen to these days? It's not children's music, right? How do I want to spend my time? What hobbies do I want to take up? What do I want to do? Who am I? So a lot of times we'll go through this transition where we want to know who we are because we have forgotten and we need to be reminded of who we are. And so knowing who you are is actually going to make every decision every decision that you make is based on who you are. What do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your personality? What is it that you want, right? Because who you are is not how you spend your time, but how you are being is going to affect how you spend your time. The most important thing is who you are being and have that help dictate the time that you're spending. So it's important for you to know who you are. Let me know in the comments if, whether live or in the replay, has that ever have that ever crossed your mind, or are you still in the thick of it of just trying to put out fires and sleep, or are you at a position of I'm trying to rediscover who I am right now? I just want to get like a better idea of who that is so that you could be the woman that you want to be and know how that's going to affect the decisions that you make. Um so when I kind of was going through that, there was a couple things that I did. I started, even with my fashion background. I have a degree. I've worked in the fashion industry. I took some time off because like I said, I was devoting everything to my family. And when I woke up, I would not like woke up, I was like totally looking at I've lost my love for fashion. Like, who am I? I love fashion and I have not been taking the time to wear the clothing that I love to wear. And what you wear, we know that with enclosed cognition, what you wear matters. And when you feel like it doesn't matter what you wear, then you're missing out on that opportunity of using enclosed cognition to help you show up powerfully. So I was missing that in my life. Number two, wasn't listening to the music that I liked. That's a good place to start is number one, what kind of clothes do you like to wear that's going to activate that enclosed cognition, right? Not just what's easy to put on or what you feel like wearing, right? Because you want to dress how you want to feel, not how you actually feel. So have fun with clothes again. It's a great way to, when I started doing that, I started getting more excited about the day to day. I started feeling more alive. And when I started studying that, I had the fashion background, but the psychology behind it, I didn't know. When I started studying that, that's when I noticed like the magic happening, right? And then number two, start listening if you don't already. Start listening to the music that you love because that these little things that you start thinking about Something will awake inside of you and bring out those things that you used to love because that's still you. You still love those things. You just haven't thought about them for a while. So if you don't even know what music you like to listen to, start. That's a good place to start. Another way is to spend some time with a hobby, whether it's reading a book, whether it's cooking, whether it's going and checking out different restaurants, whether it's, let's see, I thought I put some ideas here. Oh, garden, art, something creative that can bring out your creativity again and just make a change from what you're used to doing all the time. Sometimes just changing things up and changing the habits that you currently have will start triggering some new patterns, some new thought patterns. And you tend to go back to things that you used to love and remember those again. Just because maybe you're not needed as much as a mom or a daughter, or um, maybe you're retired, or maybe you don't, work as often that you needed to. You still have lots of value to offer in other ways. And this is just a great opportunity for us to rediscover who we are, find out what we really love to do and who we want to be so that we could show up powerfully in that area. Okay. Number 4, find your girl tribe. So many of us, especially right now, feel alone. Even though even if you live in a house full of people, even if you are part of a community, a lot of us are feeling alone even though you have access to Facebook, to Instagram. We don't need to feel alone. And there's people out there that you can connect with that want to connect with you. And finding your girl tribe, super important. Um, when you if you start working on you now, like what if you're like, Afton, I have kids at home still. Start working on you now. The bigger, the more that you work on you now, and then when that transition happens where your kids are out of the house or you're retired or your parents don't no longer need you to take care of you, you're already whole. Not that you're not whole before, but you're already confident in who you are, that you can now have the freedom to choose the things that you want to start working on and choose the things that you want to start doing, right? Because who you are is not what you do. You are that person now while your kids are at home, while you're working, and you'll be that same person. But that's kind of where that transition happens. And it's usually around 40 and older, where when you're making this transition, you just kind of feel like, what what am I doing? Like, who am I? And this feeling is it's a normal transition period of our life. And it can be a little bit easier if we are already developing ourselves. Okay. So, whether if you go through a divorce or your kids move out of the house, even if your kids are nearby you and you still have a relationship with them, right? But it's still hard when you're just kind of like, what do I now do? How am I going to spend my time? And if you've already developed that, you already are fully aware of what you love and who you are, then it's a lot easier to step into that. But knowing who you are is where you begin to determine how you want to fill your time. And that's what's beautiful about this, right? Who you are being is more important than what you do. But who you are being is going to help you determine how you want to spend your time. All right. Number 5 that I recommend. So number 1, start having fun again with clothes. Number 2, listen to music that you like. 3, find a hobby you like to do in your free time. If you don't have any free time, it's time to make that a priority. You're going to burn out, sister. I promise. Number 4, find a girl tribe. And number 5, find a coach or a mentor to help you as you go through these stages. Because what I found, my experience with a coach is, well, before I even hired a coach, number one, I used my friends, right? I would talk about my friends, like what we were going through, but it wasn't helping me to actually feel the fulfillment with myself. So even though that was helpful, but that's what I did first. And number two, I started reading a lot of books. I read lots and lots of books. And though I love to read and and I love to read, but it still wasn't, if reading a book could change who you are, this all the millions of people who have read self-help books would be totally changed and this world would be a different place. But unfortunately, just reading a book doesn't change who we are. What I found was when I hired a coach, she was able to help me see where I wanted to change, what my stepping blocks or my stepping stones were, and where I was blocking myself. And with all the other um, solid foundation that I had, it was super easy for me to to work with them and start seeing what needed to be changed. So all those things. Number one, start having fun again with clothes. Number two, listen to music that you like. Number three, find a hobby that you like to do. Four, find a girl tribe. Five, find a coach or a mentor that will help you be able to live the extraordinary life that you are dying to have, to find the fulfillment that you want in this life, um, in your purpose that you were here for. You are beautiful, worthy because you exist. But how you choose to spend your time is what you get to decide. Nobody else gets to decide that for you. This is your decision, your choice, and there's no wrong decision for you in what you decide to do with the time that you have. This time on earth is very limited. We don't know how much time you have. In fact, I was talking to a friend the other day. I was like, man, I think I have like a good solid 3 decades left if I'm lucky, right? Like after that, it's like, you never know what health problems. And if you are able to get those, if I'm lucky if I get those 3 decades, right? We don't know how much time we have. We don't know. Life is so, so precious. And how you're going to fill that time with, you get to decide. Nobody, no organization, nothing else. You get to follow what your inspiration is, what you're inspired to do, and there's no right or wrong way. You might believe that you have to get married. You might believe that you have to have kids. You might have been taught that you need to get married. You might have been taught that you need to have kids. You may have been taught you need to have a career. You may have been taught you need to go to school. Really, you don't, right? The flower in the field is beautiful is beautiful because it exists. The other stuff just adds fulfillment and joy and beauty in our lives. All right, that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I sent a Thanksgiving message yesterday in the Transformational Tuesday email. If you don't get my emails, let me know. Um, about maybe you're not feeling super thankful maybe you're tired of people telling you to feel thankful this Thanksgiving. If you're not in that season where you're feeling very much gratitude, read that email. Okay. Read that email. Powerful. Okay. All right. I hope this helps you think like a style icon. Remember, a style icon knows who she is. And when she walks into a room, she is powerful. She's able to influence for good because of who she is. And you can too. All right. Think like a style icon. Bye bye.